like the way the ocean's so blue. I like the way you do the things that you do. Ooh, yeah. I like the Rasta. I like the reggae. I like the soca.
And once again, Joe the Shirt is off the cuff. Welcome back, everybody. Joe the Shirt's off the cuff. So good to be back. So sorry about yesterday. Too much going on around here between the carpet cleaners and other people cleaning their carpets and the workmen here. There was just no way I could do a show yesterday. And I know all like three of you are so awfully disappointed.
3.5.
3.5. There you go. That is my girlfriend M in the background there. She'll be joining us from occasionally here and then. Actually, let me set this up. Hold on. Excuse the noise. There you go. It's all set up so that we can both speak and you can hear her, hopefully. Now, today we're doing pretty much a regular show today. Not doing the Hump Day show because there's no Hump Girl here today. We didn't get a Hump Girl. The Hump Girl that it was supposed to be today, she couldn't make it. So there you go. And no, I would normally be very happy to have my own girlfriend as the Hump Day girl, but she's taking a passive participation in today's show and not an active participation, so she does not qualify as a Hump Day girl today. So there you go. Now, let's start out with a little local news. Brit Walk, the British week of Los Angeles, which actually lasts about 2 weeks, is going to be starting, if it hasn't started already, it's going to be starting very soon, which celebrates British culture and food and influences in America. No one cares. Have you ever tasted British food? Really, you don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit. You know what? The best thing they make is fish and chips. All right, and they're not chips; they're fucking fries, and that's pretty much it. I mean,
Bakers and mash are good. I disagree.
Bakers and mash.
Shepherd's pie.
I never had shepherd's pie. Is Irish or Scottish? It's not English.
Well, they serve it too.
Well, they call it British. We can call it Brit
Steak
Walk.
and kidney pie. How's
There
that?
you go. Still not loving it. They also make blood pudding. So, you know what? No one really cares. We've never participated in Brit Week, ever. We've been living here all these years, and it happens every fucking year. We used to work at a place that did Brit Week, and I still didn't even go there. So, fuck that noise. Like I said, the original show had to be scrapped, so I'm going to be wading through the stories as I check them out. Things here and there. You want to talk about news that, really, didn't see coming? Vegas cabbies have been found to run up the meter on an average of $10 too much per ride. And, again, that's one of those we knew that. And I don't even know why you're taking a cab in Vegas anyway. You can pretty much walk or take a free shuttle anywhere in Vegas, or take a really cheap shuttle. I took a shuttle from the airport to my hotel room once, to my hotel, $5. And I got drunk and silly off my ass, and it didn't matter. So yeah, don't bother to take the cabs in Vegas. I don't know how desperate you are, but don't bother to do it. Before I get into anything else, I wanted to remind everybody that my buddy Justin Zachary is still doing his show. It was extended for 7 weeks of Train Spotting, the play, over at the Elephant Theater on San Malcolm Boulevard. Tickets are $20 Fridays and Saturdays, and that's at 8 o'clock. Sundays, it's $15 at 7 o'clock. My girlfriend and I were actually planning on seeing it this weekend, finally.
Well, yeah.
Well, I've been talking about it so much, I should go at least like once, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe you'll see me there. Maybe you'll wave, ask for an autograph. And maybe monkeys will fly to my butt. Who knows? But I'm saying that also. So, check that out if you can. It's getting rave reviews, and it's a lot of fun. Now, let's before I forget, let's do birthdays, because I've come to enjoy the birthdays. Let's Let's start with today's birthdays. April 24th. If you were born April 24th, you share a birthday with Kelly Clarkson, 31 years old. Richard Donner, 83 years old. If some of you might be wondering, well, who the hell is Richard Donner? I know my girlfriend Em knows who Richard Donner is. What did Richard Donner do, baby?
I can't think of it right now.
Okay, he was the director of Superman, the original, and The Omen. There you go. Also, Cedric the Entertainer is 49 years old, and a couple of the original Hollywood divas have birthdays today. Shirley MacLaine is 79 years old, and Barbara Streisand is 71.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, exactly. Those are a couple of old bitches and who have not aged well at all. I know that's a little mean of me, but if you see them, you'll know what I'm talking about. Now, if your birthday was yesterday, April 23rd, you share birthdays with John Cena, wrestler, who's a wrestling champion, also known as the Doctor of Thugonomics. Thugonomics. Yes, he's 36 years old. George Lopez is 52. Lee Majors was 74 yesterday. Valerie Bertinelli was 53. Joyce DeWitt is 64. You may remember her from the old Three's Company days. That's a lot of that's a lot of sitcom royalty right there. Michael Moore is 59.
Yeah.
Okay. Dev Patel is 23. You may remember him as the kid from Slumdog Millionaire.
Oh my God.
There you go. And then fellow Indian Cal Penner from Harold and Kumar movies is 36 years old. Craig Sheffer is 53. And if you want to go way, way back, you also share a birthday with Roy Orbison and William Shakespeare.
That's way back. You're right.
That's way back. That's going way back there. Now, today's topic of the show is called Jealousy, Not My Problem. And I bring this up because of something that happened yesterday. My girlfriend and I, we were at our local bar, Barney's, hanging out, having a couple of drinks, doing the crossword puzzle like we normally do. Sometimes we'll bring like lottery scratchers. We're old. We don't like party like there's like no tomorrow anymore. We just have a couple of drinks, relax, try to keep our brains engaged, and keep the Alzheimer's off. That's what we do. But there was a gentleman that we've seen there once before, I think.
Yes.
Russian gentleman. His name is Roman, who's an artist, and claims he's not an alcoholic.
He's Russian.
Yeah, by definition, you're Russian. You're a Russian male, and he's an older guy, too. He's 60 years old. At least that's what he claimed. And
62, yes.
yeah, and it was really bizarre to watch him hit on my girlfriend in front of me. And the entire time, let him asking us, I hope I'm not bothering you. I hope I'm not intruding. He was worried that we were bothered he was intruding, not the fact that he was hitting on my girlfriend with words like, the things I could do to you, or I would just destroy you. This is he's saying to my girlfriend with me in front of him. Now, I know a lot of you may be thinking, well, you should have just cold-cocked that motherfucker. And I'm like, why bother? I'm not worried about it. Not that my issue would be with him anyway, but as I've always said, if your girlfriend or your wife cheats on you, why would you be angry at the dude especially if you don't know him? There's no point there. If your boyfriend or husband cheats on you, ladies, don't be angry at the whore he's fucking. Be angry at him. But too many people, go the other way. When a man finds out that his wife is cheating on him, his initial reaction is to go kick that guy's ass. And I'm like, there's no point in that. And that's what I was thinking about the entire time. I wasn't worried about it because the simple truth is, if there was anything for me to worry about, then hell, I don't want the fucking bitch anyway. Then if I even thought for a second that there was any chance that this guy could be boning my girlfriend, then I don't want the fucking bitch anyway. So what? I don't care. She wasn't worth keeping. It doesn't matter. Now, the only proviso I put into this is, I say I don't care what he was saying. I could care less. But, as long as he didn't touch her, I draw the line there. Like I had a buddy of mine one time, we were hanging out, and he was a little drunk, and he grabbed my girlfriend's ass. And you know what? I let him know in no uncertain terms, we don't do that. You don't touch her ass. You don't grab her tits. You don't do it. Okay?
No inappropriate contact.
Exactly. Because that's beyond her control at that point. At that point, you've already violated the airspace. Exactly. You violated the airspace, and that's where it stops right there. And he backed off, he relented, he apologized, and I understood he was drunk and horny, which is a common thing. And I've grown very accustomed to watching men hit on my girlfriend. I've seen it more times than I can count. I don't care. I'm like, good. God forbid I'm with a woman that's so fucking ugly that nobody ever hits on her. I mean, really, you guys should look at it like that. If somebody is hitting on your woman and you trust her, good. Life's good. That's all. The worst thing that happens, really, she gets a little compliment, a little tickle in her nickel, and she hopefully takes it home to you. Good. Because let's face facts. No compliment you can give your girlfriend or your wife will ever be as great as the one she gets from a perfect stranger. Doesn't happen.
Very true.
Yeah. That's right, baby. It is very true. It's like I was talking about the other day when it came to, the myth of erectile dysfunction. Obviously, erectile dysfunction exists. But, when you're with somebody long enough, every compliment you get from them you feel is suspect. Because they're going to say that because they love you. Because they care about you. They want you to feel better. Maybe they're just horny and want to get laid. So you will never, ever completely trust the compliment the way you would from a complete stranger. Because when a complete stranger gives you a compliment, it's very sincere, and they do want to fuck you.
Very true.
Exactly. And it's not out of love. It's not out of, keeping the bond together. It's about just a carnal need and a lust, and that's what's going on. So, yeah. I don't worry about it. I've done things with exes and ex-wife that most men would, just have a hissy fit over, just go on a violent rampage over. And just like, I learned, for the most part, it's really just sex. It's not that big a deal. I mean, I love sex. I really do. And, but, if I ever came into a situation where, there was the opportunity for my girlfriend and I to swap with another couple that we both liked, I would not be opposed to it. But that's not the situation we're in right now. But I'm just saying, it's like, it wouldn't bother me, because I gave up on a lot of thought processes a long time ago. Like, well, what if she likes him better than me? Well, she will at first, yeah, for a while, yeah. And I'm going to like his wife a lot better than I like mine for a while as well. Because it's new. It's fun. It's exciting. It puts a very different type of tickle in the nickel. So it's nothing to worry about. And like I said, some guy hitting on my girlfriend, been there, done that. Hell, I've seen it in Las Vegas. I've seen it in restaurants and clubs. It's like, I don't care. As long as she has fun and doesn't get stupid, that's fine. See, that's the problem me and the ex-wife had. She would tend to get stupid, where she gets to the point where she's enjoying her conversation and her compliments from other guys, and then she would forget that I was around, and then, 25 minutes later, I'm wondering, well, where the fuck is this bitch? I think that's a big part of it. It's okay to get energy and attention from other people, but you have to remember that there's a point where you have to cut them off. And yesterday, I went to go talk to somebody while we were at the bar, and my girlfriend let this gentleman know, you need to go home. We're done now. You're pushing a little too hard. It's getting to the point of being rude, not just complimentary. And she let him know, and he tipped the fuck out and walked his drunk ass home. Yeah.
And he left.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what he should have done, She knows where to put the brakes on. She knows how too far can be. And so she goes there. And with that, it's time for our first break. Today's music is being brought to you by Cry Out. Their first song that you just heard was called L.A., and this is their next song, Desire. 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 I'm Joe the Shirt. I'm off the cuff, and I'll be back in a minute.
You'll always be there, the one for me. Ooh, we go. You'll always be, listen now, the one for me. Julia, that's life, baby. Look my way one day, that's life, girl.
And welcome back once again to Joe the Shirt's Off the Cuff. Welcome back, welcome back. That was Desire by Cry Out. Yeah. Continuing the tradition here on Joe the Shirt's Off the Cuff of playing whatever crappy music happens to come along. And the tradition is strong. One of the bigger things that's been happening in the world lately is the rise of nerdism. Nerds are on the rise. I mean, you see more and more nerdy shit every day. And I'm a big fan of nerdism. I truly am. From my toy collection of Transformers and Star Wars figures to my collection of 6,000 comic books that take up like 60% of the space in one of our closets, to video games that I still play to this day. I'm a nerd. I know I am. I'm just not a smart nerd. That's all there is to it. I'm not one of these nerds that makes like $1 billion off some social network. If I could, I would. Believe me, I would sell out like that. I'm a complete whore. And you may have noticed the other day I did a show. It was called Nothing But Fluff. And if people offered me money to talk about celebrities and go through lists of what your man is hiding from you, I would do it every day, 3 times a day, and just completely sell out. I have no dignity in that place at all. Dignity can go fuck itself, okay? Dignity doesn't pay the rent. Dignity doesn't pay the mortgage. It doesn't pay the power bill. None of it. People talk about, these celebrities and all they have and all this and all that. Why do they have? Because they sold out. Anyway, back to nerds. This is a particular type of nerd. Now, you've all heard of Comic-Con, where, people go to these comic book festivals and they dress up like comic book characters like the Hulk or Wonder Woman, and whether or not you're a man or a woman doesn't really seem to make a difference as it comes to dressing up like Wonder Woman. But there's a particular type of nerd that is gaining a lot of popularity lately, and these are the nerds that dress up like medieval characters in armor and swords and bows and arrows and shields and these people are getting big out there. I remember I had a buddy of mine, my buddy Mike. He was a part of this group, and they would go to these, weekend-long or week-long events where everybody would get together and have like a fake war, and they would crown fake kings and queens, and they would all give each other these like ridiculous names. It was like, so this, that, or the other thing, and it was just like, really? And what exactly happens here? I'd ask Mike. And basically, people would go there and do these things and get drunk and hook up. I mean, it's still nerdy, but that's what they were doing. And there's a couple of groups here, actually. Let me see here. Let's see, where are they here? Let's see. Darn it, I had the names of these groups right here. But, there's the SCA, which where they have combatants that seek out, historical authenticity, historical detail. And then you have another group where mostly really all they like to do is hit each other with sticks. But they all dress up, and they're such dorks. Take a look at this, babe.
Oh my God.
Exactly. They dress up in these ridiculous costumes, mostly made out of leather and wool, which is really uncomfortable, especially if you consider that most of the time they do this stuff in the spring and summer months.
Like the Renaissance Fair.
Exactly. It's a lot like the Renaissance Fair. And it's ridiculous. They have groups of people here. Let's see. Everything you need to know about the SCA before getting your battle on. There's something called the Kingdom, which is the whole of the Society for Creative and Anachronisms, 19 administrative regions, further divided into principalities, baronies, cantons, ridings, shires, strongholds, ports, and more. You get down to villages and shit like that. You get the characters that the SCA members embody. Real historical personae is prohibited. Like, you can't call yourself, Henry VIII. You can't do that. You got to make up your own name for yourself. A king and a queen is ascended to the throne by winning a crown tournament in armored combat. And I was reading this article here. It's like, we're talking about guys in their 50s. They're just wailing on each other with sticks. That goes to the martial activities. And then you have the feast, which is also a big deal for them. And by the way, when you go to these things, they don't like you to break character. So you go there in your SUV, and then you get there, and you change your clothes from your khakis and your polo shirts into whatever the fuck this guy is wearing over here. Yeah, he looks ridiculous. I'm going to put a picture of that up for you guys to take a look at, because these guys really do exist. And we're talking, just this one group has well over 10,000 members. And they get together several times a year so they can just beat the shit out of each other and have the serving wenches serve them. Yeah, most of the time, women do not participate in any of the physical stuff. It's really just, it's like a tailgate party, but without the football game. You participate in the football game, basically. And people do get hurt. This one guy had his hand broken 17 times. And he keeps going back year after year so he can participate in this shit. Among the food eaten, leek fries in Lentun, chicken with marybones, stubelgoose with pursley, venison, warts, feckies, and ale. I don't know what half that shit was. But I do know that these guys are sick and crazy. And you know what? I'm looking at the pictures of some of these people, and they look exactly like my buddy Mike. Middle-aged, fat, way too much facial hair. But they're dressed up like knights and wearing like rollerblading pads all over themselves.
There we go.
Yeah. Just like the knights of old did. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think of that, babe? Would you be ever interested in going to something like that?
No.
Really? Because part of the reason this is so popular right now is because of movies like The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and shows like Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Yeah, because of how popular those things are, these people now have some, let's call it, legitimacy into what they're doing. You know, they're not just the joke of the club. They're not like... those creepy kids in high school that are always trying to like separate themselves from everybody else by dressing weird. They are nerds. They're becoming more and more the majority of what's going on out there. And you will see these guys at Comic-Con and at these fairs and festivals.
You know what? I drew the line when you and I went to see one of the Harry Potter movies and people were dressed like Harry Potter. That was enough for me.
Oh yeah, and that was mild.
Yeah, very mild.
I mean, and they were. We're talking about there was a lot of college students dressed up as Harry Potter or other Hogwarts students. Just dressed up. Especially a lot of USC students.
It happens to be their color.
It happens to be their colors. That's right. What's the name of the house that Harry's in? Gryffindor. Is that his?
No, it's not Gryffindor.
It's not. I thought it was Gryffindor.
You may be right. You know what?
That was Gryffindor, yeah. And the colors for Gryffindor are the exact same colors as USC. And USC students came out to see Harry Potter movies, and all they did was just throw on a robe, and then they already had their scarves, and boom, they were set. Oh my God. I was looking through this magazine. There's a couple of jokes in here I'm going to read to you before we take the break. Like I said, I'm just all over the place today because it's not the show I was planning on today. So, we're going to go with this. Actually, this relates into what I was just talking about. What's the difference between The Hobbit and Twitter?
What?
You only get 140 characters on Twitter. Takes a second to sink in, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. And thank God.
Now, this is one that I don't think is funny, not because I think it's offensive, but just because I just don't think it's funny. But what has 2 legs and bleeds a lot? Half a cat.
Ew.
See, it's not funny, but not because it's offensive. But
Half a cat, really?
yeah. Okay, we got one more here before we go on break here. 2 ministers are discussing their lives in the church, and one of them says, "I never slept with my wife until after we were married. How about you?" The second preacher thinks for a second, scratches his head, and says, "I'm not sure. What was your maiden name?"
That's not bad.
Now, here's a little stat, actually, that I found amazing. The number is 3,700,000. Do you know what that is?
No.
That is the number of people who have bought real estate on the moon.
Okay.
They own property on the moon. Now, here's the first question is, who did they buy it from? Who is authorized?
Who owns the moon?
Exactly. Because for the longest time, people I think really believe that because we put a flag up there, the moon belongs to America.
Probably.
It's like, oh, we claim this and us. Nobody else is here, so yeah, might as well. But yeah, almost 4 million people have bought some parcel of land or property or whatever on the fucking moon.
Wow.
I mean, we're talking about a piece of property that you can't see, you can't go to, you can't do anything with. You know what? I'll tell you what. I'll give you the mineral rights to the moon. Go ahead, go get it.
Yeah, totally.
Another number for you. The number is 21.
Yes.
That is the number of calories burned from 6 minutes of sex.
Okay.
That's it.
21?
Yeah, only 21. I mean, that's almost half of McNugget.
Almost.
Almost. That depresses the hell out of me because, when you really go at it, 6 minutes is a long fucking time.
Yeah.
And then you blow your load and you're just like, woo, that's 21 calories. I can go have another half of McNugget.
Uh-huh.
And the last number for this is the number 4, which is the percentage of missing remote controls that are found in the refrigerator.
That's good.
And you know what? I can believe this
I like that.
better than most because I have left the remote in the fridge once or twice.
now?
As I here, even living with you, I'm watching something on TV. I grab the remote. I'm like, I go into the fridge. I'm grabbing a beer or a soda or something to snack on. I put the remote down so I can reach around and grab something. And then I close it. I go back to the show because the show is still playing, and I didn't pause. So I'm just watching the show. And then, like half hour later, I'm going, "Where the fuck is the remote?"
Yes.
Oh my God! All right, and now it is time for yet our last break of the day. So we're gonna go into our break with more music from Cry Out and their song "Jacob's Ladder." I'm Joe the Shirt, and I'm off the cuff.
We are climbing Jacob's ladder. We are climbing Jacob's ladder. Oh, we are climbing Jacob's ladder. Soldier, Jack Cross. I say yeah now. Oh, soldier. Jack Cross. Every little step we're going higher, higher. Every little step going higher, higher. Oh, every little step we're going higher, higher. Soldier. Jack Cross, Jah Rastafari say soldier.
All right, Joe's Shirt is off the cuff once again. Welcome back, everybody. We are going through some news items today. I know, not the best show I've ever done. I fully admit that, but then again, it's not the show I had prepared for. So you'll have to, cut me some slack here. New report came out. Turns out that circumcision can help prevent HIV. That's right, the AIDS virus. Excuse me. Reasoning for this is when you get circumcised, you eliminate a lot of the area where bacteria can grow and multiply and form basically a nice little AIDS nest for the virus to grow in and eventually infect you. Now, it's for the longest time it had been believed that, there's no need to be circumcised as long as you remember to clean yourself. But let's face facts, we're talking about boys, and boys do not know how to clean shit, all right? Unless you're one of these anal retentive nutcases out there, you're Hannibal Lecter of cleaning, boys cannot be trusted to clean their wieners, okay? Especially little boys. And teenage boys, grown men. I don't, are you kidding me? I cannot be trusted. That's where the term schmegma comes from, which is that nasty, white, viscous gook that forms on a man's dick when he's not circumcised because he's not cleaning himself regularly. That's what happens. And it's been found that in Uganda, where 1 in 6 people is infected with HIV, in a control group of about 200 people, 200 men, the men who got circumcised reported it was found that were infected with the AIDS virus 50% less times. Okay? Whereas just being educated about AIDS and being circumcised, just cleaning yourself on a regular basis, decreased the risk of AIDS by 25%. So really, clean yourself, you dirty motherfuckers. 1 in 6. I mean, that is a scary thought to me. I mean, you think about it. 1 in 6 people in Uganda has AIDS. They have the HIV virus. Okay, they don't have full-blown AIDS. Fine, they have the HIV virus. You know what? I get HIV or full-blown AIDS. I'm not happy either way. in creepier news, it's been found that a mortician was scamming the government. Gene Crump took part in an elaborate fraud scheme by arranging fake funerals and staging bogus cremations.
Nice.
Yes.
Really nice.
Okay. According to this, let's see here. Let me read this to you. When the casket that was supposedly to hold the earthly remains of Jim Davis was finally lowered into the ground, the only thing missing was the late Mr. Davis. The coffin had been weighed down to simulate the approximate heft of a corpse, and Jim Davis was not in the box.
Nice.
Now, my question is, where was Jim Davis? It was also found that when they began investigating Gene Crump, that in tied to specific cases, she went and exhumed the bodies and then put bones and dirt in there to simulate
Good God.
the dead person. According to this, when
Twisted monkeys.
Oh, yeah. When two insurance companies became suspicious about whether Mr. Davis really was resting in peace, it says here, Crump exhumed the weighted casket and, in an effort to throw off workers at the crematorium where it was headed, inserted a mannequin and cow bones to replace Mr. Davis.
Cow bones?
Yep. Then Crump and several associates reported the cremation to the country, saying the remains had been scattered at sea. They even had a physician to create a fake death certificate from a heart attack.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, Jean's she's got 18 months in prison for that one.
Is that all?
Yeah. Honestly, I think that's adequate because it's not like she was hurting anyone physically per se, but it was fraud because she was, then turning in reports that would get her paid. We're talking about hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of several years. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a big fan of Ozzy Osbourne, and who isn't, then you may have heard that him and Sharon might be getting divorced. According to Sharon Osbourne, that is absolutely 100% not true. According to Tuesday on The Talk, she said that in no uncertain terms they are not getting divorced. Quote, everybody knows he's been struggling with this substance abuse his entire life, and I never knew that he was using prescription drugs. You never knew? You live with the man, you had no idea he was using prescription drugs.
We've been together for a while.
Oh, yeah. She says that I knew he was drinking occasionally, but didn't realize to the extent. It's our business. We're dealing with it. We're not getting divorced. However, am I happy? No. Am I upset? Yes, I am. I'm devastated right now. Apparently, rumors have been swirling for over a week as to whether or not they were getting divorced. I think there's a good chance they will someday. But knowing Ozzy, and I don't, but thinking of the person we imagine Ozzy to be and how sharp Sharon is, it would probably be in Ozzy's best interest to not get a divorce.
Yeah, I think so.
On April 16th, Ozzy Osbourne took to Facebook to speak his piece, denying the divorce rumors, apologizing to his family, and admitting he'd been drinking and using drugs, but saying he was now sober for 44 days.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. It's one of those things. You know what? I've known people that are real hardcore addicts, alcoholics, drug addicts, what have you. And there's no such thing as just doing it a little. What Sharon is saying here is like, yeah, I knew he was drinking sometimes. Well, if he's drinking sometimes, he's probably drinking all the time. It's like a drug addict. Well, if he's shooting heroin every once in a while, he's probably shooting heroin all the fucking time. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think about that, babe? You think that she is underestimating the amount of drugs that Ozzy was actually doing?
She should not have known.
Yeah. But you know what? If you've seen Ozzy on TV, it's like straight or sober. It's really hard to tell.
Exactly.
Sharon! Sharon! Yeah, it's hard to tell with him. Now, this is something I saw the other day, and I thought I was a little upset by it because I'm a big animal lover. This is a question for advice. I manage a 12-unit apartment complex with a strict no pets policy. We understand that under federal and state fair housing law, we may need to make an exception to our no pet policy for a disabled resident who requires a service animal as a reasonable accommodation. However, there is a resident at my complex who has a visitor staying with her for a few weeks. The visitor has a dog that accompanies her everywhere and appears to be staying within the resident's apartment with her. When I asked the resident about the dog, she told me that her guest is disabled and that the dog is a service animal. Do I have to allow the visitor's service animal? If so, what documentation can I request from the visitor? I request you shut the fuck up.
Okay.
You cannot go around denying somebody entrance into someplace when they have a service animal. And I did read the response, and the advice guy, the legal expert here, agrees with me. He's like, you gotta let them in.
Yes.
You gotta. You can't just go say, yeah, you're allowed to have your friends visit, but not if they happen to have a service animal. Not if they're blind.
Yeah.
If they're blind, they can't come visit. They have a dog. The dog has to stay outside. Good luck with that one. I think I was appalled at the question, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that sometimes people it's like they forget to take their common sense pill in the morning. Let's see, and apparently in Denver, Colorado, two people were shot at the marijuana festival.
There's a marijuana festival?
Yeah, there's plenty. Are you kidding me? Gunfire erupted at a pot celebration in a Denver park, injuring 2 people. A crowd of marijuana smokers had been expected to swell to 80,000, had gathered to mark the counterculture holiday known as 420 on the first anniversary since Colorado and Washington legalized pot for recreational use. Well, good for Washington and Colorado. The shooting happened at about 5 p.m. shortly after pot smokers shared hugs and joints in a mass 420 smokeout. Police spokesman Sonny Jackson confirmed that 2 people had been shot and were taken to a hospital, but they did not appear to be life-threatening injuries. Well, good for them. They were probably so stoned they didn't even notice. Mm-hmm. It's like, boom, boom. Dude, I think I'm shot.
Might be bleeding.
Dude, should I go to the hospital for that? Yeah, in a minute. Hold on, though. I wonder if that would like make people like just if that would like harsh their mellow right there, or just got shot.
Yeah, probably.
And that is actually it.
My mellow, that's for sure.
Oh no, you'd think getting shot, you'd wonder about that. But I've heard of people being shot and not even knowing about it. Like there've been a few cases in like at baseball games or football games where everybody's having a good old time, everybody's a lot of noise going on, and people would just start to look at the person next to them. It's like, are you all right? Yeah, why? What do you mean? Well, you're bleeding. And they're like, I am? It's like, yeah. And they look at their arm or their shoulder, and it turns out, they've been shot. But, they were so into the game, and it was so loud, they didn't notice not only that a gun had been fired, but that they were hit.
Yeah, okay.
So it really surprised me that, in a place filled with 80,000 stoners, that 2 people actually noticed they'd been shot.
There you go.
And that is it for today. We're going to get out of here with No Man by Cry Out. Thank you for listening. I promise to do better next time. Like I said, I wasn't prepared today not to do this particular show, but, I muddle on. They can't all be winners, people. I'm Joe the Shirt for my girlfriend M. Thank you for listening, and we've been Off the Cuff. Take care.